Good morning. Detox your visitor journey. And the focus of detoxing visitor journey is actually to help you boost conversion more from your homepage. But now every journey starts with a fun story. So my story today is about my friend Steve. Any runners in the audience? I'm not a runner. I have great appreciation for runners. So Steve had always dreamed of doing the Boston Marathon. And in order to do this, he needed to qualify with this 26-mile race. And he was telling me about the details of it, saying, oh, I was doing great until I hit about mile 21, and it felt like I hit a wall. Same wall that had defeated me 4 times before. Started feeling all these feelings of defeat. But then this guy in a blue shirt ran by me. Not fast, but steady. He was visually stuck in front of me. So I just latched onto blue shirt, right? Step by step, trying to get along. And 45 minutes later, crossed the finish line. 3 hours, 25 minutes, 20 seconds. Made it. Exhausted, Steve stumbled over to a bench. We looked up, he saw a blue shirt. So he said, hey, blue shirt. Blue shirt looked around a little confused. Stumbled over, said, hey, thank you. Thank you for getting me through miles 17 to 21. Without you, I would not have made it. And blue shirt was like, really? You're kidding me. Without you, I wouldn't have made it through miles 15 to 17. Surprising. Ever a moment like that in life where you feel like things are going well, cruising along, going positive, and then boom, you hit a wall, and feelings of insecurity and defeat settle in? Wouldn't it be nice to have a blue shirt come along, coach you to that finish line, encourage you, and give you hope, guided path? So my question for you today is, who is your blue shirt? And perhaps more importantly, who are you being a blue shirt for? Because you might not realize this, but you're actually a blue shirt for your customer. That's right, your customer. Your customer is looking to you because you've been there before. You know how to overcome their problem, their challenge. You have the wisdom, you have the experience to guide them on that path. They're looking to you. 80% of companies think that they're customer-centric. The sad part is only 8% of their customers agree. Ouch. We're not doing so well as being blue shirt, right? And perhaps it's because we need a different perspective. All too often we get focused on our goals. You know, we're thinking about customer and it's like the number of customers, the customer sales that we're thinking of. Maybe it's a change in perspective. What direction is the train going? Left? No, make it go the other direction. Oh, fascinating, isn't it? Perspective. Flip. We need to flip our perspective, and it's a key aspect of boosting conversion. Brian Eisenberg, conversion rate expert, said it best this way, that in order to accomplish our goals, we must first help our customers achieve theirs. It's a big one. In order to accomplish our goals, we must first help our customer achieve theirs. Change in perspective. So today, I'm going to walk you through 4 stages, starting from the homepage, how you can help lead your customer, how you can be the blue shirt and guide you to more conversions. Starting with first impression. First impression's a big deal, can last a long time. How many of you are familiar with Gremlins? It's a movie from the 80s. So the last few. How many are familiar with guacamole and avocados? Okay. Sort of had a little bit of a traumatizing experience when I saw this movie. There's a scene in the microwave and the gremlin, yeah, afterwards we went out for Mexican food, and my grandpa was like, microwave gremlin. And I was like, oh, 20 years it took me to try an avocado. That is a scary first impression. First impressions can impact our actions dramatically, and it's remarkable how quick we make a first impression. With people, we make a first impression in 1/10 of a second. 1/10, it's hard to imagine that. You've automatically judged them to say, are they safe? Are they likable? Do they seem trustworthy? First impressions with web content actually occur even faster with that. And a metric we can try to use to gain that quantitatively is bounce rate. Now, Google defines bounce rate as entering and exiting the same page without an interaction. What's that mean? Interaction. Okay. Well, an event qualifies as an interaction. So if we log an event at 5 seconds, all those visitors that actually stay 5 seconds will no longer be counted in our bounce metric. Not a different metric that's in the system, actually the same metric rate. Google refers to this as adjusted bounce rate, meaning you can control that. Now, the fascinating thing is your bounce rate will plummet to something meaningful. Okay? Because if you have 70% of your people not even making it to 5 seconds, that's a lot of failed first impressions, right? You want to have a low bounce rate. You want to see, where did I fail first impression? They didn't even get to 5 seconds. That's how poor it was. So we can do a comparison, little bar comparison, Google Analytics there. Find that comparison to what you should have for your bounce rate, and what are those microwave gremlin pages? The puke pages, failed first impression pages. And you might find those, but the next key part is qualitatively, well, what do you need to do to fix that? How can you better fix that? In the 5-second test, I like to use for first impression with a few questions. So I've got a volunteer on each set. Okay, so now everybody's going to participate in this. I'm going to show you a page for 5 seconds. Don't overanalyze it, so we want it to be authentic, okay? Then I'm going to ask you 4 questions. You ready? All right, 5 seconds. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask Anna to respond. So again, an authentic response, because I've seen that page many times. But who is the company?
I couldn't actually see or notice the company name,
okay,
or remember now.
And so there's no right answers when you're doing this and you're asking someone to participate, because it's their first impression, so you want their authentic response. What are they offering?
It was something about homes, I think, and it was the audience was targeted against families.
Families, okay. Did they appear credible? Would you say they seemed trustworthy, neutral, or sketchy?
I think they seemed a bit trustworthy because they had the picture of the family, and I think some of the fonts and stuff had that sort of traditional feel to it.
Felt a little more trustworthy there. What did they want you to do as a next step or call to action?
I think it was a webinar.
Okay,
yeah.
Webinar. Is she right? You'd say the customer is always right, right? But thank you, Anna, for providing the feedback. The key, more so in a first impression, is not are they right, but how solid is the first impression. So when you do this, I like grabbing like customer service team reps or someone that has not worked on the campaign, will not be familiar with it. Write down what you expect the first impression to be, and then reconcile that. Because it's not okay to be like, close enough. Close enough means not a solid impression. And you want to nail that first impression to make sure that everything that follows is good. Easy test to do at home. Now, once you see that some of these elements are off, the first thing I typically look at is the visual hierarchy. And visual hierarchy is a term used with user experience. We're talking about something that has strong or high visual prominence is believed to be more important, and the less important it is, it has lower prominence. So white space, color, and size are most often the factors that I'm looking at when viewing a page. So if we see this page again, we notice that there isn't much here for white space, room for your eye to pause and focus on. Colors like purple and teal are used in several different areas, so the eye isn't drawn specifically to color. And size, there isn't anything dominating in size to show that visual prominence, right? So here's a simple modification of changing white space, size, color. And now if we think, who's the company? What are they offering? I can more easily see the logo and the free webinar and that visual, piece it together more likely in 5 seconds to understand who that company is, what they're offering, what they want you to do. White space and color and contrast also help out. So in this case, who's the company and what are they offering? World nomads. And what's great with navigation in this case is that you follow it over and your eye naturally reads left to right and we see travel insurance. Notice it's not products, services. A lot of times we have that, or solutions in there. This is a win both from that first impression standpoint to say specifically what it is, but also from an SEO standpoint. We get the relevance. Someone likely wouldn't have searched for products to get to this site. They likely search for travel insurance to get here. We get that match. Who's the company? What are they offering? Visuals are powerful for this. The brain processes visuals 10,000 times faster than text. So if your text isn't right there, check your visuals. And I like doing a caption contest for this. Cut your images out. Okay, leave the rest of it out, and then have someone write a caption for it. It's been kind of amusing on some of your pages, because you're going to be like, well, okay, maybe that didn't match up. The goal is, whatever they write for that caption, that should be your page topic. That should lock it in. So in this case, if it looks like happy family, okay, for happier home, that is solid. Solid match for caption contest, the visual to resonate that, for people to see that automatically. Next key phase of being a blue shirt is to do the detox, the cleanup. Web users consistently say that the #1 thing that's important to them is the ease of finding what they're looking for. So when we're doing detox, we want to get rid of the distractions. We want to remove them, and we get rid of all the distractions, and we want to clear up what's remaining. Top toxic trend going on right now is video backgrounds. Video backgrounds and sliders. Video backgrounds consume mega load time. But most importantly, motion is a distraction. Distractions kill conversion. Imagine doing a 5-second test on this page. 5 seconds, your brain is like caught up in this video. I have no idea how trains relate to Gucci, right? I'm like following it going, okay, wait, maybe wait for it. No, still wait, no. Maybe, train. There, where's the 25 ways? I missed that. Totally distracted. Motion is a distraction, okay? When users are on their way to find something on your site, you don't want to disrupt that path by continually showing something that will draw their eye somewhere else. Ix the video backgrounds, no more of those. Even Wistia, very popular video hosting platform, video is their business. They say don't do it. Didn't work well. Crushed their organic traffic and hurt signups. No video backgrounds. Next mega common one, it's not really a trend, this has been going on, and in fact they seem to be getting worse. Visiting websites and you get to the hover menu and whenever I do this and I'm like, goo! Whoa! Wow, okay. And I'm just under women, okay? Whoa, that's a mega menu, okay? But we get the same thing in the footer. Mega links. Do you have these footer links on your site? Mega links are leaks. Okay? First, for SEO. Okay? A link on a site for SEO dictates relevance. Okay? And when you're trying to link to every page on your site, it's kind of like the supers in Incredibles. When everybody's super, no one is. When every page is relevant, none of them are. Mega links drain your relevance and authority, and it hurts your SEO. Cut all those links into your footer, for sure. Minimize all those links. But for conversion, links present options. Okay? And too many options can be overwhelming. This is my puppy, Nikita. So darn cute. Okay? First time I took her to a pet store, and I was thinking, okay, she's going to go and pick out a super cute toy, and this will be fun. And then she got there, and she's like, huh. totally overwhelmed by the options. Psychology, we call this the paradox of choice. When you're presented with too many options, you can have a choice paralysis and wind up making no decisions. You don't want that to happen with your users. We certainly need to avoid paradox of choice. So measure your attention ratio of the things that they can do on your site versus what they should do. In this case, just looking at some of the menu options, 124 to maybe 6. Minimize your attention ratio so you're not flooding those options and preventing them from taking a good action. Picture it like this: if you were driving and you know you need to make a decision quick and you sort of knew where you wanted to go, but now you saw it and you saw it over here, but now maybe I saw it over here, and now, okay, there's probably going to be a turnaround at some point, which in your web analytics would be like going to a page and then coming back, and okay, where am I going? Clear up your menus and your navigation. Evaluate how good your navigation is. So this is a click heat map. Be able to see where users are clicking on the page and where they're not. Do this with your menus to see, because there's likely some thinning you need to do in your menus. What's not getting clicked on that you have in your global navigation, taking up that precious space where maybe a little more white space would actually prove to be a better first impression. Where are they clicking? Where are they not? In Google Analytics, we can see this in our All Pages view. If I click on Home, narrow that down, and then I'm going to click on Navigation Summary. Up here, most people don't pay attention to that tab. It kind of blends in. When I get Navigation Summary, then I can actually see my previous and next pages. So now I can see from the home page, where do they go the most? This helps me prioritize, okay, what are my users most interested in? To look at that navigation. But don't just rely on this, because this assumes that you already have links on your homepage to what users most want to get to. I strongly encourage you to do a poll. What's your reason for visiting a site? This could even be like an annual thing to put it out there just to make sure that you're still featuring the most important content on there. Hotjar has a really great poll guide listed in there. Excessive scrolling. This is a toxic trend. I don't get how many home pages have suddenly become like a mega landing page to put everything on the home page. ClickFunnels is the worst one I've seen, and they claim to be conversion experts, and I completely ruled them out after seeing their site. Went to their site, 29,000 pixels tall. Page down 42 times. 42. 40. How many times do you page down before you're like, yeah, okay, done? 2, 3, 42. Look at all that wasted content. Your homepage is a storefront. Imagine it like that. Can you imagine a storefront being like 20 times longer than Imagine? It'd be a waste, right? Who's going to look at it that far? Nobody. And in the web world, that's wasting your page load time. It's slowing down the page. And even for those few that might get that far, you don't really know what they're interested in. No, you showed all the content there. You're not really sure what the reason was for visiting today, so you can't truly speak to them. If we look at a scroll heat map, you see red is where the majority of those people are. But that's sad, because we want 75% of people to be seeing that. We want 75% to be that red or yellow. And see, yellow is a very narrow band, and heat maps, that means a sharp drop-off. Radical drop-off of, okay, we lost people. We lost people after that. So look at your scroll heat maps on your home page, and you need to prioritize that content that will be red and yellow of what are 75% of my users seeing, because it's your job to lead them from there to the next step. So detox. We got rid of several detox factors. Now we need to do a little clarity cleanup. So even if we have clean links and we think our site looks clean, how clear is it? I see this a lot on sites. We've got links styled like text, and we can't tell the difference. Then we get those click heat maps. People are like clicking on everything because, I don't know, is this a link? Not sure. Is this a link? That is not going to help guide the path. Remember, you're the blue shirt. You need to make a clear path to help guide them along the way. Similarly, we got these buttons. Anybody using these? Ghost buttons. design trend. Call them a ghost because they're like clear and they blend in with the background. Ghost buttons have ghost conversions, okay? If you want them to disappear, it's the same thing that happens with your conversions. I only use those when I don't want somebody to click the link. It's in there, okay? Buttons need to look like a button. Make sure that it's clear. Your call to action should be the most obvious element on the page. Remember that visual hierarchy. So like this. Oh wait, no, not like this. Not a button. It's a tab. Tabs. The 90s called, they want their tabs back. Tabs don't belong in a multi-device world. We no longer have this short part on the screen where we can still see all that content. We're scrolling, especially on mobile, right? So tabs interfere. They hide content. We consider tablet and mobile users, and they scroll, scroll, scroll. They're skimming. They don't see what they want. They're going to move on. No more hidden content with tabs. Instead, use jump to links, because it does help to show, okay, this is what's on the page as content, and I can click and then jump down. Now, as a great bonus with jump to links, if your jump to links are few and succinct, like 1 or 2 words, like shown here, you can get jump to snippets in your search results, which can also help get that user, guide that user to a more specific spot on the page. You can use this on your home page, product page, and your blogs, okay? Huge booster for your search snippets to get that extra coverage. Self-segmentation. It's a unique word. I'll get more into that in a second. Tons of times I hear brands and clients say, we love big banner images. They want this big, awesome photography there. And that can look cool and pretty, but I'm not looking for pretty. I need usefulness. Okay, if you are the blue shirt, your job on the homepage is like a traffic cop. Now that you're here, where can I go? Guide them. And more specifically, show them, right? We can see better if we can see where we can go. This isn't helping at all with where I can go. Suzuki did a little better. They wanted the big images, and then they had the little ones on the side as, okay, here's some alternate paths, but then they had to have them in a slider. Sliders are what? Motion. Sliders quickly take your website to the valley of suck. No sliders, no motion, it's a distraction. We're not helping to guide the path. But having a few more options in there was a little easier from a traffic cop perspective. So, testing it. Instead of showing in a slider, how about a grid? 4 options for paths. Woo, win. 28% more clicks. Okay, well, we kind of guessed on 4. What about 2? 2 actually had more clicks in this case for the guided path. Now, in my experience, 2 to 4 guided paths on the homepage is optimal for your traffic to boost that engagement part. 2 to 4 in that grid sense. And this really needs to change up your thought and expectation about your homepage goal. What is your homepage goal if you're going to measure success? Segmentation. How much do you know about your audience? Your homepage is a key spot to learn more about them. I refer to it as self-segmentation because if you plan this strategically, they're self-identifying who they are. You learn more about them, and now you can speak to them more specifically. Example, segment by journey stage. Okay, this is for the travel insurance. Okay, do I need to file a claim? I'm ready to file a claim. I've already filed a claim. Segment by product use. Notice the excellent visuals here, right? So we can see, okay, I'm on the trail, I'm on the water. Context is very clear. Self-segmenting, this is me. Now all the visuals that follow in there can relate to that particular path. Segment by audience. So this is with Conversion XL's Institute for Training Courses. Now they could have just linked straight to pricing and demos, which actually previously they did have that for a page. But what they added was segment pages to speak more specifically to distinct audiences, the individual or the team. Okay? And all they did was create a very simple page, almost like a landing page. Notice the templates, very similar on both sides for the team versus individual. Heading, subheading, few bullet points, then the call to action, go to next step. but now they're speaking very specifically to that audience. And almost get a bonus in this case, because if I was an individual and I need to influence my boss, the My Team page is already optimized, right, to pass on to my boss to help with those persuasive points. Jeep, segment by product type. In this case, extreme terrain sells parts, and the type, the model of vehicle, basically influences the entire filter for everything else. So by picking the type, in this case, I could have just had a search result that had that one box checked for category, but instead, I can make a good segment page, customize it. Okay? Now the search is filtered. My contest is filtered. The image I'm featuring is filtered. Navigation top products are filtered. Segment page. Personalizing the experience. It makes it feel more like my page now, my Jeep. 3 different ways for this. First one I shared was going directly to that particular path from the homepage, that traffic cop grid that you have there. Go directly to detail. Then there was the individual or team case where we just injected a new page. This is one of the easiest ways for you to add a little bit of that personalization without customizing a ton of your content, because you can just inject them as a little path there. And then you get worked further into it, fully customized pages that work through. So that can take a little bit more time, but you can see how you're going to progress through how to focus on that segment. You learning more about them helps you speak more specifically to them, which helps get more conversion by talking just to them. 30 to 200% improvement in campaign revenue is what I've seen by segmenting content pages. This can be very huge, and from a user experience perspective, it's also really positive because people feel like it's more personalized. Now, if you're really ready to step up your game, you can do some video storytelling. It's like interactive videos. Within YouTube, you can chain or link a video to another video. So how we're talking about these segment paths, you can use that to tell a story, kind of like choose your own adventure books. Are you familiar with those? Get to the spot and you're like, open the door, don't open the door. In this case, this was an interactive city tour. No, it's going to be in French or English. I'm going to visit in summer or winter. Very simple to do in YouTube, where you have the in your video settings, you can go then, and now they're called end cards. There's even templates that are available, end screens and cards, and the templates are in here so that you could pick the next video that you're going to link to. And now you can change these at any time, so that way if you're adding on, you're like, okay, well I only have this one video to start with, but it'd be cool for us to add this other segment later, no problem. You can easily change these at any time, so it allows you to kind of progressively build a library of your video storytelling. Very fun way to get creative with your content strategy. Final one here, we have value. Value is often a matter of timing. You can feel like, oh, you're great in the moment, but if it's not the right time, then a few seconds later, it could just be bad. I feel that way about pop-ups. Every site I go to, boom, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. So if you did that on every site, you know how many emails you get? How many people actually like seeing the subscribe? As soon as you get to the site, you're like, you were looking at something, it's like an automatic behavior now. Close, close, not in there. Now, at one point, we even had browsers that, because pop-ups were so annoying, browsers block pop-ups. Everybody agrees this is not a good thing, okay? This is what happens when marketers just follow other marketers. We're not doing any user testing to actually validate, okay, is this helping? Now, there is value to a pop-up, but timing matters. Okay? Pop-ups are like hockey here, okay? Business in front, party in the back. Let your customers do business up front. Don't distract them with a pop-up, and consider later how it could add value. So use a delayed pop-up or an exit overlay, which is a pop-up that would occur as a user starts to move their mouse kind of off the screen or towards a new tab. It can be triggered to then show the pop-up as an exit overlay. One example is Galaxy. They wanted to boost sales before it was officially launched, and as an exit overlay, they introduced, well, hey, we'll give you a free charger along with it. 60% of users stayed and actually boosted sales by 26%. That's actually pretty fabulous, because 99% of visitors don't buy on their first visit, which can be a little depressing when you think about it. And 25% of them never come back. But the statistic here that really matters is 75% have return intent. How do you maximize that return intent? You want them to come back. So we work a little bit of psychology in here. It's kind of like if you're training a dog and you have them do a trick and you give them a treat right away. That incentive clicks in their brain as a positive behavior. How can you leverage instant gratification on a website so that they associate their experience as a positive thing that they want to come back for? I challenge you to make it your objective that for all new visitors coming to your site, you give them something. Give them something tangible. Instant gratification. Okay? This could be a download. Try to make it something of utility. You know, you're the blue shirt. They're on a journey. What tasks would they perform otherwise that you could help them along with? Maybe they need a checklist. Could you give them a template? How about a planning worksheet? Something tangible of value. Quizzes also provide instant gratification while you're going through them. BuzzFeed has really nailed the quiz market. It's consistent every month. Some of their top content is quizzes. Quizzes. Now, quizzes can be huge for lead gen. Okay? The key is that you go through the quiz, you get your result, give them a snippet of their results. In this case, it might be like a score, kind of brief summary, but then package a little more detail to it and say, you know, enter your email and you get the full results. 50 to 70% conversion I've consistently had for quiz landing pages. This is huge. Can boost leads 500% in some cases. But imagine 50 to 70% first-time visitors lead generation. And the quiz helped you learn something more about them, right? They've been answering questions, so it's almost like a hidden research case there. Quizzes are hugely successful because of a confirmation bias. So as human beings, we're inclined to already have an idea of what we want in our head. We really just want to feel better about it, like, yeah, should I do that? That was the right decision. And quizzes help to confirm that without a sales rep going, this is what you should do. In the last 2 years, searches for should I on Google have spiked. This makes sense with voice search being so popular, right? Should I? How can you work that into your content strategy? We can get a win-win on both instant gratification, in this case, what course should I take? Which program is right for me? Which product is right for me? Simple quizzes like that learn a ton about your audience, work in the lead generation, and instant gratification, strong return intent. Your path to blue shirt, boosting conversions on the homepage. Okay. First key piece was, in order to accomplish your goals, first make the user's goals your own, right? That's the biggest one. Whenever you feel like, okay, it's not going right, come back to that. It's a huge part. Secure your first impression, 5 seconds. Make sure you're measuring bounce rate correctly. If you're not using adjusted bounce rate, that's a huge quick win for you to apply on your page. Minimize the distractions and options to the self-segmented path. Look at your homepage. Get that traffic cop grid going so you have clear paths and direction, and you know right off your homepage you're learning something more about your audience. And then finally, instant gratification. First visit. That's your path to being a blue shirt. That's it.
Thank you, Angie. That was quite a detox. Really felt like a detox. Yeah.
Feel good now.
Yeah.
Ready to run.
I'm definitely going to do the 5-second test. That's so easy and
Right.
really,
It is.
yeah.
And it's a fun way to engage other members of your team that might not actively be on there to
Yeah.
get that authentic input.
Yeah. Let's check with Mats if there are any questions from the audience.
Yes, we have. What's your opinion on using chatbots on websites?
Chat box, yeah.
Live chat can be a great tool for boosting conversion because it's real time In certain cultures, it's very helpful because some cultures aren't very comfortable buying online. They feel like they'd like to engage more with the person. And even if it's a chat bot, that's a way to actually engage in conversation and answer a real-time question versus waiting later. So I am a fan of the chat box. Intercom is one of the tools I use most often. I like, and they have great email follow-up that can work with those too.
If you use a chatbot, should it come up straight away? Because sometimes I'd come to a website and I'm just recently arrived, and then there's someone, hi, can I help you?
Right. It's just like the pop-up case of like timing is everything. Use a strong delay and consider that different areas and different Wi-Fi connections are going to be slower. So whatever you think you might need for that, probably double it and push it out so that it's not interfering. You want it to be far enough in where they're at a point where they're pausing and they're like, kind of a question, I need a little more info on this, where it would be like, okay, that's the right time to pop in and see if you could add.
Because it's like when you work in a store and you have just entered the store and someone just comes up and,
right, exactly. Like, what can I help you? What are you looking for today? I don't know, I just got here.
Exactly. But it is a good idea to use a chatbot, in your opinion.
Yes, live chat, big fan of that.
Yeah. Okay, any other question?
Do you think quizzes are working great because it's a new and pretty rare thing? If everyone starts implementing them, wouldn't everyone start hating them instead?
Like we do with pop-ups?
Right. There's certainly a chance. The quiz doesn't have to be a pop-up. It could be in another spot on the site. But quizzes, even though it might be used more often online, we've kind of had them for a long time, right? It's more, you could call it a quiz, you could call it an assessment. Or score. So I don't really see them fading off in that part, unless it's more like, what Disney character are you? Okay. In your site, you want it to be realistic. So the user would see value in it if it really is something that they're uncertain about, and they'd like a little more methodical approach to getting a response that, again, working that confirmation bias, that they can confirm, yes, this is the right way to go without feeling like they've been preached to by a sales rep.
Yeah. What tool do you recommend for quizzes, for example?
A lot of my clients use Typeform. Now, I will caution you that Typeform does not comply with cross-domain tracking, so it will mess a little bit with Google Analytics, but they do have great functionality for like that branching of if this, then this to change questions, and really great mobile interface. Question Pro is a great one. Is compatible with cross-domain tracking, very customizable. And Lead Quizzes is a newer tool on the market that's kind of geared more towards that landing page quiz that you can work in there.
I'm actually doing a quiz right now, trying out. And I just used Google Quiz, because Google has a quiz.
Yeah, Google Forms.
Yeah, you can use the quizzes there.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Yep, SurveyMonkey. There's kind of any of those survey tools that you could work, and a lot of them have an iframe where you could plug them into your website or into your landing page to work that. And
if we want to have pop-ups, we might sometimes need to have a pop-up. What tool do you recommend there?
Opt-in Monster, or Opt Monster, Bounce Exchange. Those are common ones that I've used, and they can get much more technical on the exit overlay intent. You could set up patterns of if they went to this page and this page, then do this. You get a lot more customized with rules versus some of the common tools. You can do a pop-up, but it won't be as sophisticated to be, more tailored or personalized to a particular visit that a user might have taken on your site.
So it gets more flexible.
Yes. Yeah. Lots more strategic.
Yeah. Mats?
Yes, you mentioned that motion is distracting to the website visitor, but is it possible to use it in the right way so that it avoids bounces and people stay longer and actually become interested?
Yeah, very good question.
Right, so autoplay motion is a challenge. Videos can be very helpful and effective when the user has the control to play them. When it's video background and there's no control, now it's just distracting from the entire page. I know in some cases, like I've talked with some tourism companies, and they're like, oh, this is exactly what we're selling, so we want it to be the background. Okay, you can still use good images. If you really need to use a visual, evaluate what makes it distracting. Could there be subtle cases? With jewelry, like a sparkle, or LED lighting to try to show, okay, the fade of lighting, or waves on water. Those can be subtle motion pieces that might not be so distracting. In those cases, I wouldn't use video, I'd use a GIF. Jiffy.com has a generator. You can go to jiffy.com, and then it says create, and you can post a URL of your own file or any YouTube file or any video you find in the web, and it will convert the video to a GIF. Okay? So now it's way more SEO friendly, and your load time's not going to be burdened by the video case. You'd have a simplified GIF, but again, I'd only be advocating for that if it's not distracting, if it's subtle and adds value in that case, like the sparkle of a jewel.
Yeah, so it's really the background video that's most distracting. You could,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a question. Because you talked about the very, scrolling. I see a trend in mostly mobile sites that it's an endless site and the menu is still hanging on, a small menu, and you cannot click the menu and get directly down, but you can also scroll. What do you think of those sites? Are those working?
In the same case, and especially for mobile, the more content you're trying to shove on the page, the more of a burden that is in the load time, which is not a mobile optimized page then. So it kind of helps you think, okay, I need more shorter, succinct content, and then link to the deeper point. Yeah. But then again, just like segmenting on the home page, now you know what they're looking for, so now you can optimize for that, speak more specifically to what they've narrowed that down to.
Yeah.
You're just trying to speak to everyone on the same super long page.
Yeah. Any other questions from the audience?
Yes, we have quite a few questions about designing for mobile devices.
Yeah.
So what are your best advice for making that work for the user?
The best designing for mobile. What should one think of firstly?
That's like a whole nother presentation.
Right? Yeah.
Which I do have some on SlideShare. We'll look that up on SlideShare. In the case of for the homepage and conversion, one of the biggest things I can comment on there is to be aware of thumb reach. We've got phablets now. We went from phones to tablets. Now we have these supersized phone tablets, and thumb reach has changed. And with testing and evaluated cases of where at the top we'd used to have click to call at the top of the page, but thumb, if you're holding your phone with your right hand, thumb might not reach to the top of the page. So evaluate thumb reach for planning that out, and make sure always on mobile, have a call to action button above the fold. Okay? Even if it's like, later they're going to fill out a form. Well, what might the form be of, get your free resource or something, put that button above the fold, and it'll just be a jump to link that will go down to the form. But now for that first impression, who is the company, what are they offering? Very clear in that call to action, what they're offering is above the fold, whether it's that jump link or click to call. Just caution on your testing, check out your thumb reach, make sure that users can reach it with their thumb, because it's a subtle thing, but it is a conversion barrier to not have that ease of being able to tap within thumb reach.
Yeah. More questions on mobile? No. You showed us the scroll, the heat maps and the scroll maps. What tool would you recommend there?
I use Hotjar. Hotjar is actually the least expensive tool I've found on the market for that, and very effective. And Hotjar kind of combines like the heat map stuff and survey tools and polls all into one package, which is really nice for that, and you can add them at any time. So I think in my slide deck, I have a free link to the trial in there. I think it's a bit.ly Hotjar free trial. I think free is uppercase. But Hotjar, great tool, inexpensive. So you can get, it also has session recordings. So if you're wondering, okay, someone went on this page, they went down, they went back up again. Okay, where are they? Maybe that was around your pricing section. That would help clue you in on watching the session recording and go, okay, maybe we need a poll on, what might help make our pricing, more clear. Are there any questions you have about our pricing model? Because clearly they're, if they're focusing around that particular area, it's almost like if you were that chatbot or person in that case, you would have been able to ask it. But, after the fact, you can be like, oh, okay, I've seen a few people do this. I wonder what that pause is. Because the hesitation and pause is a barrier, which means that's hurting conversion. So evaluate that. Hotjar.com.
If you do I was still wondering about the 5-second. I'm just going to do so many 5-second tests. But if you do it on a mobile, should it be like 3 seconds? Because really, you know, the first impression, we have no time or patience on our mobile.
Right, right. This is true. Mobile can take a little bit longer to load for the user. So, you know, for your adjusted bounce rate, I've found that it kind of balances itself out on 5 seconds. You could, for actual that metric for adjusted bounce rate, you know, if you find that your users are more savvy, you could actually tweak it to 4. At one point in time, I did tests, like doing different seconds to kind of see like what seems to be the drop-off. And generally for that bounce case, there is a drop-off. I do log an event at 3 seconds, but I make it non-interaction, so it's not influencing bounce rate. And then I can check goals on that 3 second. Did they make the 3 second or not? Because that's really helpful on ads to find accidental clicks. In that case, for it being shorter. If they come, they don't even make 3 seconds, that's notably different than 5. That's a great way to filter out on your ads of what were some accidental clicks. Those could be where, you know, maybe your display ads on a site blended in with the background and people are clicking them. Well, now that's wasting your ad spend, so those could be sites you exclude from ads in there in the 3 seconds. But 5 seconds seems pretty solid for that first impression metric.
A last question. These are the things, kind of trends and stuff that has been going on for a while. But are you seeing any new trends? What do we need to detox from next year? You know, popping up some.
Right. I tried to hit the main ones in my session. You know, the video background and the ghost buttons. Those really are the biggest pain points right now. And there's a scrolling homepage that I'm seeing enough of that
we're going to see more of that.
Too. Right. So it's up to you now, your blue shirts, so you have to be bold, stand your ground, and hopefully there's enough data that it provided, you know, for you that you'd help to convince people otherwise of why you don't need the mega background, and why you don't want the mega scrolling homepage.
Angie, thank you so much for coming to Webbdagarna Gothenburg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.